Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the 139th episode of the Philly Blitz Pod. I'm your host, Piero Baptiste. Here are my co-hosts, Markwell Fripp Owens. Brother, how you doing? Yesterday was Christmas. It's been a little minute since we potted. Eagles are NFC East champions. What's going on, bro?
Dub to those who celebrate. Happy holidays to all of this. I, the one and only Markwell Fripp Owens. As you can see, I'm still here trying to spread a little holiday cheer, looking like Elf on the Shelf. But feeling good, man. Feeling good. Like you said, NFC East champions. First time in over 20 years. We got a repeat champion. Now it's time to get down to business. It's what we call all the games count now. We might got 2 games or so where we call them a little head start, but for the most part, these are the games where you need to start playing your best football.
Yeah, you talk about, all the games counting. This Sunday, it's a heavyweight championship fight matchup with the Buffalo Bills, AFC superpower versus defending Super Bowl champions, man. In the words of Jim Ross, it's a slobber knocker.
Definitely is going to be one of those, brother. Definitely is going to be one of those, man. But before we get into Buffalo, Philly, let's talk a little bit about how the Eagles became NFC East champions and the trip down to Washington. How you think the game played out for the guys?
It was interesting. It was interesting. I think in the first half, it kind of felt like the first half of the season Eagles, where they're beating themselves. They fumble on the opening kickoff. On the first drive of the game, you have the delay of game penalty. You get the ball back, you score, and then you force a 3 and out, get the ball back, move into Washington territory. The drive results in a Jake Elliott missed 43-yard field goal. Next drive, it's near the 2-minute warning. Executing well, moving into Washington territory. Jalen Hurts fumbles, and then Jake Elliott misses a field goal. Then there's a penalty. You get closer. Jake Elliott misses another field goal. So the first half, it kind of felt a lot like I said, like the first half of the season Eagles, where they were kind of beating themselves. And then the second half, they kind of woke up, right? They had I think it was 10 minutes. I have it here 10 minutes, 17 plays, 83-yard drive on the first possession of the second half. They moved the ball down the field extremely efficiently. They matriculated down the field. They worked in the run game off the pass. The run game looked really good in the second half. Saquon, Tank Bigsby, they both did their thing. Saquon specifically on his run, I think he broke 5-6 tackles. It was amazing to see. Yeah, and then Tank Bigsby, he continues to do great things whenever he's afforded opportunities.
I was so excited to see him get in the end zone, man.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, all of us remember the Raiders game where, just the abysmal showing. They got all the way to the 1-yard line, and they tried so hard to get Tank that touchdown, but to no avail. So to see him, you could see the excitement on his face, the opportunity he had to get in the end zone. You can see it from a mile away. But kind of like you just explained, the run game continues to take center stage, which is perfect timing, as you can say. Speaking of perfect timing, shout out to my guy, started for the rest of the season. But perfect timing, as you can say, for this Philadelphia Eagles team, who, like I said a second ago, I'll say it all year long. You don't need them to be playing their best football yet. We're approaching the time where you kind of do. So to see, especially with the injuries along the offensive line, the lack of Lane Johnson, and screw those reporters that keep telling me that he's going to be back next week, and then next week comes and he's not back again. But just they continue to find ways, man. Kevin Patullo, he found a way to get his head in the show this week. I believe it was the Devonta Smith touchdown where he was like, "Yeah, I was eager to call that one, buddy. I was eager to call that one." Devonta, he kept lining up far as hell outside. He's like, "I seen it, but you made it work, man. You made it work." Kevin Patullo getting into the party, but things seem to be pretty light.
Yeah, I think, overall, just speaking on the passing game, they use a lot of empty, and surprisingly, a lot more 11 personnel looks. It wasn't, they used under center, but it wasn't as prevalent as it was in the past 2 games. And it seemed like Jalen, you said what?
Does that concern you? Still, they came over the dub, but
yeah, not necessarily, because it feels like the matchup called for it. The matchup called for more empty, more 11 personnel, right? Like I don't necessarily think like they still used it. They were efficient when they used it. It's just it wasn't a button they pressed as much.
I
Um,
mean, I guess based on the conversation you and I had last time we were here, I kind of expected to see a bit more under center. Like we talked about the game potentially being a great Dallas Goddard game, and I'm sitting here like, damn, Dallas Goddard does he even have a target yet? And we talking about feel
yeah,
like third quarter of the game where all of the things that we said that they could use Dallas Goddard to abuse the Commanders defense, they said, well, we got two All-Pro receivers. Why not use them against those old guys at linebacker? And I mean, I'm sure you've seen the videos on Twitter. Man, watching Bobby Wagner out in coverage try to guard those two guys, man. It was like Unc ain't got it. Unc does not got it.
but I think that goes into kind of my next point where Jalen was much more decisive this week, like extremely decisive in the run and the pass, right? Like he was ripping it to AJ and Smitty at various points during the game. Like I think that's probably the biggest thing for me coming out of this game, Jalen's decisiveness when throwing the ball. Like I said, they used a lot more empty, which kind of cleared up the picture for him. And he looked in control and very efficient.
Yeah, and I mean, as we continue to say, like we said last week against the Raiders, it's the Commanders. These are two of the worst defenses in the league. But um, this week should be a good litmus test, to say the least.
Yeah, specifically against the pass because the Buffalo's run defense is not good. Hashtag not good.
So it makes me,
But
I mean, we can get into it when we discuss Buffalo, but since you brought it up, it makes me wonder because I think their pass defense is like second in the league. Is this pass defense really that good, or is it ranked that high because you're a run funnel? Like trying to figure that out right now.
yeah, before we get into the Buffalo game, just keeping it on the Eagles Commanders recap. Defensively, I feel like it was a pretty good defensive game outside of coverage bust by Dory Jackson. I think they isolated him on Terry McLaurin. It was like a 40-yard completion. And then Keely
I
Ringo
wouldn't call that
stinking
a
up the
bust.
joint.
He just stunk on that play. That was
Yeah,
Dory.
yeah. And then Keely Ringo stinking up the joint late in the game with another defensive pass interference penalty. It seems like whenever he gets in the game, it's a DPI. Like it's like automatic.
It doesn't usually look as nasty as that one did. That one reminded me of the days of me watching him and his Georgia days scouting him. And I'm like, God, brother, turn around, look for the ball. Don't panic. What are you doing? It's like as soon as he seen the receiver look up and show hands, he just tackled him. I'm like, dude, it didn't have to be that.
Yeah. But just elsewhere on the defense, man, really have to point out Jordan Davis. He is so good,
Continues to be
bro.
superb.
He is
Continues
so
to be
good.
superb.
Like I don't think it's a stretch to say, like I don't think this is hyperbole, but he's arrived, man. He's arrived. Like he's consistently impacting the game, and it's not just him being a role player as we've seen in the past where he's a run stuffer. Like he's impactful as a pass rusher, like multiple ways, not just situational. Then Quinyon Mitchell continues to impress. He's such a good football player, such a really, really good football player. And teams, they don't even throw at him anymore. Like they just, you can't. There's no reason to.
It's so fun to see because I think it really gets lost within how well this defense is performing. But if he ain't there yet, he's approaching that upper tier cornerbacks in the league. I'm not willing to put him in the PS2 sentence yet, but we can talk about guys like Christian Gonzalez and JC Horn and another guy we're going to talk later on about today, Christian Bifford. Some of those guys in that tier 2 of cornerbacks right under the guy where it's like, man, he talk about a guy that has arrived. You thought he was good last year. This feel like
Yeah.
the best is yet to come for this young man.
Huge shout out to Christian Parker. Always have to big up him whenever we mention Quinyon Mitchell, the development, not only of just Quinyon, but Cooper,
Adore.
Dory Jackson. Yeah, like is done a fantastic job this year. But elsewhere, another player I want to highlight. Hashtag my guy, Marcus Epps. Man, he's been really good filling in for Makuba. There was a play, I think in the first half, Washington, they came out 4 wide receivers, 1 running back, kind of tried to spread the defense out. And just overall, the communication by the defense, it was so sound, bro. Like the
Mm-hmm.
routes were distributed very evenly. Every window was
Very
closed, right?
reminiscent
Like
of 2022 and 2024.
Yeah. And on that play specifically, Odori, he carried, I think the receiver was running a post. He carried the receiver to Epps, who rotated in like you didn't even notice it. And it resulted in a throwaway from Marcus Mariota. So Marcus Epps has been doing a hell of a job, man. Hell of a job. Extremely proud of my guy. Extremely proud. They brought him back and he's impressed. But I think, just overall, it's a very, very solid performance by the defense from Vic Fangio from on top down.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, just in general, I guess the only unit that you can really complain about this week, this we've
Special
talked about
teams.
for a while, is the Eagles putting it together on both phases, and finally an Eagles game where they kind of put it together on both phases, and then voila, special teams just lays an egg to say the least, man. I don't know. You talked about early on the Jake Elliott misses. I'm sure we all seen the newspaper. The nickname is back, Missy Elliott. I'm just trying to wait for my guy to put his thing down, flip it, and reverse it back to the guy he was. But it's not looking
Like
good
he
right now.
he I'm not gonna say he was bad last year, but like he
It
wasn't.
wasn't himself.
Yeah, he wasn't himself last year, and then the playoffs started, and he was automatic. Like that's kind of the saving grace. Like you just hope like the big game kicker kind of appears once again.
And it makes it even more concerning because, like he said, it's not nothing mental. He's not quite sure exactly what's going on here. So those are the worst type of situations where you're not in your own head. You're just trying to figure out exactly what it is, and then it becomes you in your own head. So now you're battling the opponent and yourself. It's not a good place to be for an NFL kicker.
Yeah, I think we can switch gears here though. It's previewing the Eagles Bills matchup. I'll start it here with injuries. Just to kind of kick it off here, Josh Allen, he was on an injury report at the beginning of the week. I think he left the Browns game last week with a ankle injury, but he's listed without a game status, so he's good to go. The Bills ruled out 4 players, including starting defensive tackle Daquan Jones, starting safety Jordan Poyer, kicker Matt Prater, and Jordan Phillips. And then for the Eagles, relatively healthy outside of Lane Johnson, he's going to be out. N'Kobe Dean, he also left the Washington game with a hamstring injury. He's going to be out. Jahad Campbell is going to get the start in his place, and Jalen Carter, he's going to be back. He's going to be back. I think he spoke with media. I think Wednesday, either Wednesday or today, which is Friday, and he confirmed he's going to be back. You think it's a good idea to bring him back?
Yeah,
Like
I
with the
think he
playoffs right
needs
around
a
the
few
corner.
reps. You can tell the difference in the approach and how they feel. I mean, the younger guy, they want him to continue to get the reps, which is why they bring back JC versus, I mean, we continue to see Lane Johnson supposedly being back the next week and the next week and the next week and the next week. But I mean, I think they feel a lot more comfortable holding him out, given his experience. And so I think it just comes down to getting JC some reps. I don't think he's going to see the full allotment of reps, like the 95% of snaps, like he's been playing or things of that nature. But just to get his feet wet before the playoffs, get him
Yeah, and I
playing
think
well, conditioning.
yeah, and I think it's a nice spot for him to kind of return where you're getting production from Jordan Davis or Jomo. Hell, Brandon Graham, he's had what 3 sacks or 2 sacks the last couple of
Three.
weeks. Like, they're getting a lot of production from the defensive tackle spot. So it's not a situation where Jalen will have to come in and like you said, play that high allotment of snaps again.
Yeah, definitely, man. Especially, and I touched on it last week, like you mentioned, them continuing to get valuable snaps from Brandon Graham at the defensive tackle position cannot go understated, man. We talked about Morrow all year. You just mentioned Jordan Davis and how he continues to come along, but man, Brandon Graham has been a saving grace, as Jordan Davis put it. Still, despite everything that has gone on, I'm retiring is still the highlight of his season.
Yeah, I don't remember who. I think it was Hunter Brody, but it might not have been. But he posed the question. I think he said, "Where would the Eagles' defense be if Brandon Graham didn't come out of retirement?" It's interesting to think about because before they brought him back, we talked a lot about the lack of pass rush that they were getting. Nolan Smith, he had yet to come back from injury. I
Mm-hmm.
think Darius Smith was the sack leader at the time. Then they add Jalen Phillips, add Brandon Graham back, and the rest of the pass are at a really high level right now.
Definitely, man. And I think it doesn't just come down to basically bodies and knowledge. I think, like, especially when you see, I think it was a rep last game against Washington when he got a sack, where you could see exactly how Brandon Graham was attacking these guards, where it's the thought process behind the pass rush. It felt like early on people was just trying to get after the passer, which led to guys getting out of their lanes, leaving open lanes for quarterbacks to run and things of that nature. And it continues to feel like a synchronized swimming at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of thing where we talk a lot about with the Fangio defense, but everyone just do their job, and good things will happen.
Yeah, as Bill Belichick would say, do your own job. But kind of chiming gears to who you want to start. What side you want to start at, on the offensive side or the defensive side for this Bills team?
I think let's keep it where we are. Eagles defense, Bills offense, and I
That's an
can
interesting go, man.
yeah,
You
I
can
can
start
give a
us off.
little bit. Yeah, I give a little bit of backdrop on the Bills offense, like we do every week. But this Bills offense, I have it here in my notes. This offense is basically Josh Allen and James Cook. Please save us. Like you know the meme where it's like the Lamar Jackson. If you can hear me, please save me. This is this Bills offense. It's Josh Allen and James Cook show. And you know I texted you before we got on, but this offense, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me where their wide receivers are bad, very, very bad. It's just a bunch of guys, no clear cut elite number one guy, but they play a lot of 11 personnel. They, you know, don't play a lot of 12, which is interesting because their number two and number three receivers on this team, as far as yards, are tight ends.
Hmm. So, like I said last week, I love these part of the podcast, man. I wouldn't necessarily call it the Josh Allen and James Cook show. I mean, don't get me wrong, James Cook is having a spectacular season. Spectacular. It's as a Dalvin Cook fan, as an avid James Cook supporter, this is right up my wheelhouse seeing these guys play as well as they are, man. It's fun seeing James get compared to prime Dalvin and things of that nature. But I mean, yeah, you can make the argument that this offense goes as James Cook goes. I think a lot of it kind of comes down to coaching, though. Joe Brady has done a masterful job. Like how I got it written in my notes is he's in his bag right now. He knows exactly how he wants this offense to operate. It may not be the prettiest, but it's effective. It's kind of similar to how
And
we
that
talked about this Eagles
that's
offense to start the year.
exactly. That's kind of what I have in my notes. Like they know their identity and they stick to it. Like they
Hmm.
don't try to do things that are outside of themselves.
Do a great job of keeping themselves in manageable down and distance. And they're the best part about it is them using their window dressing. So for a lot of teams, when you talk window dressing, you're talking about how often they motion, how often they utilize play action, things of that nature. And don't get me wrong, they've slowly but surely started to ramp it up over the last since like say week 11 up to this point. They're starting to show their hand as to what the Bills want to be and what they will become playoff time in terms of motions and play actions and stuff. But when I speak window dressing here, it's actually the utilization of those tight ends that you mentioned. And while they might not use 12 personnel as often as you would think, they do get funky, for lack of a better term. They use things like 22 personnel. They got 13 personnel that they run, but at the 22 that they run at a 15% rate, the 13 personnel, they're down at 5%, but even these they do things to keep defense. It's kind of very reminiscent of that Washington offense we talked about last year with the different formations. Hell, they even break out some 21 where they got two running backs and they let James Cook and their choice of Ray Davis or Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson, who has been spectacular as a number two for them this year. Cook, it's been pretty interesting to say the least for how Joe Brady wants to attack, man. And I mean, to touch on
Wait,
what you said about,
can you hear me?
I can now. I couldn't at first.
Okay, my camera's frozen though.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a sec. Keep talking.
Oh, got you, buddy. This is live podcasting, you guys. But speaking of those tight ends that you just talked about, I mean, it's hilarious because the Bills' leading receiver is Khalil Shakur, who with 684 yards and 66 receptions on the season. And then you mentioned the next two and three on the list are tight ends. I don't understand how or why they run so much 11 personnel when they don't have the bodies, buddy. Like, for context here, we just gave you their top three receivers in terms of yardage and receptions and stuff of it
Oh
being Shakur.
wait. I want to give the spiel about the receivers. This is fun because they're so bad.
Buddy, buddy.
Khalil Shakir. This guy is a slot receiver. He's
Hey,
masquerading
no
as a.
disrespect. No
I'm
disrespect.
not. It's not disrespectful. That's who he
No
is.
disrespect. That's
He's a
disrespect.
slot receiver.
No, he's not. He's proven an ability to operate on the outside. They might use him in the short, and he may not be no down the field threat like you would want him to be, but he's exactly like we just said. He's exactly what this offense wants.
Yeah, but they added Brandon Cooks and McCole Hardman Jr. I don't really know why because they haven't really done anything. They brought back Gabe Davis.
Brandon, they've slowly but surely tried to implement Brandon into
They've
last
tried.
week.
Just,
I think he played like 12% of the snaps last week, which again doesn't sound like much, but they also targeted him like what 2 times down the field. He dropped both of them, but you can see they're trying to get him involved in the offense. He's actually the guy that they want to play slot, honestly.
And he played 12% of the snaps because they benched Gabe Davis and Keon Coleman again.
Keon Coleman, who is actually the 4th on the team in yards with 355 and 36 receptions and 4 touchdowns.
What's going
Funniest
on?
Part about that is like 52% of those stats came in week 1 against the Ravens. So he's just like, I don't know, brother. I don't know.
Like I know like maturity and professionalism and everything like that was an issue with him coming out of school, but like the dude was talented from what I remember. It's just like he just hasn't been able to catch on with them.
Landing spot means a lot. Just because you went somewhere within and they had the intentions of you being the number one, how you're being utilized matters. And I don't think they've quite figured out how. Well, I don't think they quite match how Keon will want to be utilized versus how they utilize him. Keon also has to do a better job. You got to be a professional, as Cam said. Do your job. But like we just said about this Bills offense, they kind of know who they are. They know what they want to be. And you can make the argument, is it that because of personnel, or is it that because that's who they want to be offensively? And I mean, I think the answer falls somewhere in the middle, right? Because I mean, even when you look at when Joe Brady was promoted, he got promoted last year, right? Or was that 2 years ago?
I think year before last.
Yeah. Even since Joe Brady has got promoted to offensive coordinator.
When did Ken Dorsey crash out in the coach's box?
I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I do remember that video. Man, ready to flip it. But ever since they promoted Joe Brady, they've slowly but surely become a run-heavy team, up to the point where they're now probably the most efficient run football team in the league, man. And it's not just, I mean, it starts with James Cook. James Cook been on the road 100 yards in 4 of his last 5 games, coming off 117 and 2 touchdowns last week against a really good Browns defense. Funny stat about this, I wish Parth was here to celebrate this with us, but James Cook has 2 games left. He needs 100 yards in both of these games to pass friend of the pod, legendary O.J. Simpson, for the most 100-yard rushing performances in franchise history at 11, or to tie him. And just in general, to encapsulate, like you said at the top, it starts with James Cook, man. This Bills team is 11-1 in games where James Cook goes over 100 scrimmage yards. They're 0-3 when he hasn't. So he is the foundation to what this offense truly wants to be.
I think it's a thing where if you're facing this Bills offense and you shut down James Cook, and because of how inept their receiving talent is, or how, lack thereof it is, you make them one-dimensional. And as great as Josh Allen is, you can't do it by yourself.
Yes, and you feel like, I don't think it's necessarily a situation of shutting down James Cook. I don't think there's necessarily been a game this year where James Cook has been, quote unquote, shut down
or limited.
I think it's more so of got to get ahead. Like when you think about the Patriots game, the Patriots had to try to get ahead in the first matchup where, I mean, you try to neutralize how James Cook is being used and get y'all out of y'all comfort zone in terms of how you want to play offense. You don't really want to throw the ball 10 plus yards. You want to play quick game. You want to use your personnel to impact the game.
Interesting stat about that. Khalil Shakir, he leads the team in receiving yards at 684. but 515 of those have come on yards after the catch. So they like passing wise, they throw the ball very, very short. Like they do not attack down the field like that.
Yeah, shout out to Devin Jackson. But, I mean, it's very, like you said, it's very strange how they play offense, man. And the one thing about it is, like we
It
continue to harp
works.
on, it all starts with the run game, man. It all starts with the run game, and it's not just James Cook. I mean, like I mentioned, Ty Johnson has been effective. They get
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen involved, and I mean, hey, we've talked about the foot injury, so we'll see exactly how much that plays a factor. But this Bills team, when you start getting to the all 22, brother, they're fun, especially when you talk about the run game. They do what they want when they want. Like in my notes here, I got one of my questions of the game is how would the Eagles try to run the foot? I mean, how would the Bills try to run the football? The Bills, they would, if you let them, trust me, ask the Pittsburgh Steelers. They will tell you. If you let them, they'll run duo 3 or 4 times in a row until you stop it. I think it was against Carolina, it might have been, where, oh no, it was the Browns last week. I'm sorry. Last week against the Browns, where they showed you mid zone twice in a row, and then they switched the duo, and it's all dressed up the same up front. It looks beautiful. But then you start talking about the Eagles, and we've mentioned Jordan Davis and his breakout, getting Jalen Carter back. The Eagles allowed 3.7 yards per carry in terms of duo rushes. So you can try, but that race near the bottom of the league is kind of like stuffing your head into a brick wall. Now we've talked all season long about how this Eagles team struggles off tackle and things of that nature. And the Eagles versus outside zone, they've allowed 5.6 yards per carry, which ranks 29th in football. And the Bills, I mean, like I said, they have no issue ponying up and running duo, but they have this play again. Shout out Devin Jackson, who led me to this on film, where it's a counter, for lack of a better term. And they start out with everybody to the strong side of the formation. They want everybody, whether it be left or right, they don't care. They want everybody to where the side they want to start it off. And then they motion the tight end over to the weak side pre-snap, and then they snap the ball, and the fullback immediately pulls behind him, and it's just like massive amounts of space on the weak side for James Cook to operate. And they've done this time and time after time again. It's a very diverse run game, man. Very diverse run game. They make you think. So it's
And
gonna make it be hard.
James himself, he's such an interesting runner where it's like, he's not necessarily a power guy. He isn't necessarily like one of those scat speed backs. He's more of a slasher where they utilize him a
Okay.
lot, like misdirection, one cut, kind of, like I said, slashing up the field. It's not really power based. It's a lot of everything, like you said.
Right, man. Inside zone, outside zone, duo,
Misdirection and
counter. They
gap
they they
scheme.
they run a lot of everything. Hell, you even look at how they use Josh Allen, where it's not just quarterback power, it's quarterback sweep, quarterback counter.
Hmm.
They put a lot of everything out with this run game. It's
And it
again,
and
it makes
on
you
the
think, brother.
on the Eagles front, is interesting and kind of worrying at the same time because we've talked a lot about N'Kobe Dean and the physicality that he brings,
Exactly.
to the defense, and he's going to be out. Now, Jahad Campbell, he played last week, yeah, and you kind of filled in admirably for him. But to say that physicality is the same, it's not with him in there. Now, he's good. He's better, in coverage,
I mean,
but
hey,
against the run,
I don't want to say the physicality isn't the same because this is the same guy we talked about all off season that was breaking his teammates and everybody else when he runs into him. He could be physical. It's just
It's
the
not it's not as
decisiveness that
controlled.
Nicole,
It's not as
yeah,
controlled as it is with N'Kobe.
the decisiveness. It's like N'Kobe, the play, he dissects the play in his head. It's that engineer. They see the play happen and before it goes down and he just shoots the gap. And for a young guy in Jahad, he's still figuring it out, man. And I mean, he's best when the game can be kept in front of him. He does a really good job in coverage. I also think that Vic does a really good job of mitigating that usage, switching to 6-5 6-man fronts when Campbell has to play, basically using him in that edge role, and Bond is the green dot. So, I mean,
And I
again,
think I think we'll see a lot of that this week where, we've kind of come to typically expect it when the Eagles are facing teams who, can run the ball, who have a lot of success on the ground. They typically shift to those, 5-man heavy fronts.
Yeah, man. I think it's an interesting conversation where, especially when you think about them not having the Kobe. I think I was listening to Solak and Mina Kimes break this down, and Solak talked about how ideally this is a game where the Eagles could play a lot of base. You move Cooper DeJean out to the boundary, you get your bigger bodies down there and say, hey, y'all, we're not going to allow you to control us on the run game. Because the most interesting part about this and we're going to talk about it on the Buffalo front too, but specifically on the Eagles front, is these two teams, they're committed to who they are, man. They are committed to who they are. We laughed for years about Jim Schwartz and the extra man in the box. Keep the extra man in the box. Well, Vic Fangio's the complete opposite. We say all the time, he will die before he moves that second safety down. And you look at the Eagles team, this Eagles team, they run light boxes at a 68% rate. Of course, the Bills aren't too far behind at 54%, which is sixth in the league. The problem here is the Bills average 6 yards per carry against light boxes. So will you adjust? Like, we just sat here and talked about them playing base. I don't think they'd play light box if they were in base. So I think they'd be fine having light boxes if they were in base because you have Nakobe and Zach right there and you feel great about it. I don't think they have that same comfort with Jihad in the game, even with them rotating down the 5-man front. So
I think this could be interesting to see. I think this could be a game where we see Cooper play way more in the box than usual.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Which, I mean, kind of aligns with what I was just saying, where I started off thinking maybe we could see more base. Then the more I went through the game, it was like, nah, this is nickel. You got to stay in nickel without without Nakobe because you need that extra body.
Let me ask you this. In passing situations, do you think it's possible where they take a page out of the Bill Belichick playbook and put Cooper on like a Dalton Kincaid?
It's possible.
Just because their receiving threats are non-existent.
Right. And I mean, this is, of course, all of us play fantasy football, but if you're in tune into the fantasy football world, it's like a running joke out here where Dalton Kincaid's basically storyline is strange. It's really strange. We have no idea if he's a main character, if he's a side character, if he's on a side quest. He just shows up one day, scores touchdowns, gets yards, and then goes missing, and then shows back up one day and scores touchdowns and gets yards. And it's not consistent at all, but when he's on, it's on, buddy. It's on. So it could be a possibility for you could want to use Coop to neutralize them, especially like you said, the lack of 12 personnel. But then if they start getting into 22 and 13, it kind of makes it a little harder.
Yeah. Speaking of fantasy football, you win any of your championships this week?
Yes, I am.
I am too.
I'm in the midst. Shout out to friend of the pod, Jared Goff, for stinking it up yesterday. My guy needed that Christmas miracle.
I'm facing a dude who has Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, and the Lions defense. I was so happy yesterday, bro. I was so happy.
Hey man, I have never been so happy about 15 points. I seen Amon-Ra had that little 14.8. I was like, hell, he was projected for 20, so this works for me, bro. I can deal with this. So, hey, good luck to you, brother. Hopefully, we can bring them home for the Blitz boys.
It's $1,000 on the line in my championship, so I got to win this.
Listen, I've been spending enough time stressing about this. I don't even want to think about it until tomorrow football picks back up. This is supposed to be an off day.
But okay, let's move to Bills defense, Eagles offense. Just to provide a little bit of a backdrop on the Bills defense, they're predominantly a zone coverage team. I think they play zone at 70%, cover 3, 26%.
Yes, 69. I guess you can call it 70, but I mean, according to PFF, it's 69, 20th in the league.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because a lot of these different platforms, they chart things so differently. Like,
yeah, but you can see the similarity. Like, that's when I know when I'm looking at a page where it's like, I try to look at 3 or 4 of them, and if I see, like you just said 70, I said 69. If I see a page they got him up there like 64, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not using this. You too far off base from where the rest of them at. What are you doing different?
But yeah, cover 2, 17%. They play some cover 1 man at 15%. Statistically speaking, 14th in EPA per play, 16th in total success rate, 7th in EPA per dropback, 31st in defensive rush EPA. To put it simply, they stink versus the run. 30th in rush yards allowed per game, 30th in rushing first downs allowed per game, 31st in rush yards per attempt. They've allowed the most 40-yard runs of any team. And as we know, Saquon Barkley is heating up.
Hey,
You know,
don't forget 20.
Tank Bigsby.
No, I said 20 plus yards too. They've allowed
Oh, I think
13 20 plus yards and 7 40 plus yard runs. They stink.
yeah, they stink. Hashtag not good. But against the pass, this is a completely different story. They've been very good. Number 2 passing defense in the league. They've limited number 1 receivers all year. Whether you want to look at DK Metcalf, three catches for 32 yards. Jamar Chase, 5 catches, 44 yards. Stephon Diggs, 3 catches, 26 yards. Nico Collins, 3 catches, 55 yards. Their CB group of Christian Benford,
That dude.
a resurging Tre'Davious White, Teron Johnson.
Hey. What are we doing?
I'm not disrespecting him, but he did fall off a little bit.
Nah. You ain't disrespecting him. He did fall off. I'm talking about why is Maxwell Harrison not the second name that
he was the next name?
About them? He needs to be number 2 when you talk about this Bills team, buddy. He has changed the game single-handedly. They don't win. I mean, yeah, they still a predominantly zone team, but they middle of the pack everywhere now, man. This is a strange defense, especially over the last 4 weeks, man. There was a odd commitment to cover 3 to start the season. Now, when you look at over the last 4 weeks or so, everything is just basically even. It's like 17%, 16%, 18%. It's like, okay, y'all do a lot of everything, but a lot of that has come across the ability and the willingness to play more man coverage because they can play Maxwell Harrison and Christian Benford on the outside and say, go do your thing.
Yep. And they play, there's been a lot of press. Like I was looking at Christian Benford, all 22. He's right up on the receiver, right? So like their cornerback group, very, very aggressive, in your face, physical style of coverage. Like we said, Christian Benford specifically this year, per PFF over the last 2 weeks, he's allowed 1 catch for just 2 yards, 2 interceptions. So they're playing at a very high level. I don't know how
forward here. Where I was gonna save this stat for my matchup of the game, but I mean, clearly you guys know where we're going towards this. It's a movie on the outside between AJ Brown and Christian Benford, but Christian Benford has been that dude, brother. Like they've allowed him to shadow receivers he's shadowed opposing team's top receivers on 45.4% of his total coverage snaps since week 7. Those matchups include Tetsuo McMillan, Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, Nico Collins, Emeka Ibuka, all of which he's had double-digit snaps against. And he's allowed just 4 receptions for 60 yards on 9 targets across those 70 snaps. He's been a dude, man. Yeah. He's been a dude.
Did he make the Pro Bowl? I don't think he qualified.
I don't know, man. He ain't got enough aura. That's why he needed. I tweeted this earlier in the year. He got to change the sleeves, man. It's the sleeves. That's my dude. He a baller like, when you watch, but it's like Sam Bradford. Yeah. Oh, you got to change that, buddy.
Word. Like Byron Maxwell level.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
nasty.
It be pissing me off. Or you be watching Bills games, and you like, yeah, lockdown, and then you see him doing this little celebration with the long sleeves, and he's like, ugh, brother, ugh. Why would you do that?
But elsewhere in the secondary, the Bills are going to be without starting safety Jordan Poyer, which is huge loss for them. Huge loss.
That Bills secondary, and I mean, it's been like that for Poyer for a few years now. For honestly, since I was a young fella, him and Micah Hyde. I was born on Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. They had that Bills secondary on lock for the better part of a decade, and it's kind of like. Same thing we're going through. I don't want to say what we're going through with Jake because Jake is struggling. Jordan's actually playing pretty well, which is why it hurts not having him back there. But senior guys get older, understanding that, damn, this is the second half version of you, the second half of your career. It's not the guy that we come to know and love, but he's still a productive football player. So him not being on the field is a massive loss, especially when you just talked about how good the pass secondary is, man. They now the problem with that is Bills pass rush, man. This Bills pass rush is
Relentless.
inconsistent.
Well, Greg Russo.
Yeah, Greg Russo is. They got dudes that they want to. Like when I was watching, when I did my deep dive into the Bills, and I was watching the All 22. This was the ultimate what could have been football team, man. Like, man, I wish Ed Oliver was still healthy for these guys. Just like from a pure football fan standpoint, a lot of the things and a lot of the issues that they face, like we talk about them being a run funnel, out of this is because they got young players. Like I like TJ Sanders. I like Deion Walker. I ain't like y'all enough for y'all to be full-time starters for a football team this early, but I seen the future. I seen the path. And they have to play a lot of snaps for this Bills defense. And again, it's the ultimate what could have been. If they could be healthy, man.
And that's the thing. They're without like I said earlier, they're without the guy who's replacing Ed Oliver. His name is escaping me right now. But they're also without what is it? Jordan Richardson? Is that his name? The third string D tackle?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's gonna be out this week too. So TJ Saunders and Deion Walker, they're gonna play a lot of snaps this week.
Yes. Again, football play. Those were my guys. Well, TJ Sanders was a you guy, I think.
Yeah.
But Deion Walker wasn't my guy. But these are guys we like as football players, but
it's a thing where like you said, we like them. They're good. It's just we ain't expect them to have to play this much this early.
Yeah. So for this build, like you talk about how bad they are against the run, and it's like they try. And then even the pass rush, team has 34 sacks, 18th of the league this year. They try when they're having good games. This Bills team overall is the epitome. Like it makes me jealous. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me jealous. I've been a staunch hater of Sean McDermott. I do not like that guy. I think he scapegoat everybody. It's everybody else's fault, which is why he always got a new OC and new DC until they doing good. Then it's me. But even no matter how much hate I just put out in the world for him, I can give credit where credit is due. And the same way I talked about how Joe Brady has this offense running like a world-old machine, Sean McDermott, Bobby Babbage, they elite defensive coach name too. Babbage, crazy.
That name has so much aura as a DC.
I'm telling you. But they got this team operating at a well-oiled machine, and this you could look at the personnel, and if we deciphering this team by personnel, it shouldn't be at or near the top of the league in much of anything. But when you look at the play and how they've been utilized, they do a good job of putting their players on both sides of the ball in positions to succeed.
Yeah, and it truly goes to show you like power coaching. I think this game it kind of illuminates that now that we're talking about it, right? Like
I said, it made me jealous a little bit. Yeah, I mean, of course, Vic does his thing, but
on offense, yeah, those guys over there. But they're doing a better job as of late, man. They're doing a way better job as of late. I think, for this offense this week, you kind of have to think they get back to the heavy usage of under center action where Saquon can get downhill. You can kind of put, some of the coverage defenders in conflict. I think you want to see them use, some trips, some stacked sets, a lot of empty to kind of throw off that aggression, again, to kind of make Buffalo declare from a coverage standpoint. I think, again, you see a heavy dose of empty, which will give Jalen a much clearer picture pre-snap of what he can expect from Buffalo. Because like you said, it's a very aggressive front. They don't necessarily I don't think they don't necessarily blitz a lot. It's more rush 4.
It's just the middle of the pack. It was a point in time where they did rush 5 a little more than what they wanted to, but now they've kind of migrated to fire zone, sim pressure.
Yeah,
kind of similar conversation that we talked about with Brian Flores in Minnesota. Earlier,
it's not to that level of the controlled chaos stuff that Flores is doing. That dude's a madman.
But you seen them the other day? Like, my goodness, Jared Goff was in hell. My goodness,
Andrew Van Ginkel, another game, another sack.
Like, dude, like Still got Harrison Smith at 84 years old playing like he's top 5 in the league at the position. It's amazing. Talk about putting your players in position to succeed. Use them how they are good.
Yeah. But we're kind of moving through this a little fast. Let's get into matchups to watch. Let's keep it where we are. Eagles offense, Bills defense. You kind of gave us yours already.
No, I kind of switched. I'm a pivot. I'm a pivot since I gave y'all that. I had good things. See, this is why research helps y'all. For all the kids listening, do prep for tests. If you prep for tests, you won't be scared later. Pressure is for the unprepared. But I'm gonna kind of pivot. I'm actually gonna go with Saquon Barkley against this Bills front seven. You kind of gave us the outline of how bad this Bills run defense is.
And they are bad. They are bad.
I mean, I'm gonna give you some more context in terms of how bad they've been. Allowed 5.2 yards per carry, 30th. That's just to the running back position. They're 28th in rushing success rate. Of course, like you mentioned, 30th in yards allowed. They're first in rushing touchdowns allowed. The funniest thing about this is this team has allowed 5 rushes on the season over 400 yards. 4 of those rushers. We got a Parth appearance.
Wait, give me a sec. This is live podcasting, folks.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Mark.
Okay.
We got a Parth appearance. How you feeling, brother?
Jet lag is whooping my ass, but we're here. Had to get on the pod, man. But, for those of you who need to accelerate to 2 times speed, this is probably the time.
Hey man, I gotta say before we get back to it, if you're gonna come at one of us, dog, you coming at all of us, gang. You coming at all of us. We a team.
I just mean, at the end of the day, what else do you want from me? I've been Jordan Davis's biggest fan this year. Like, I have literally been his big. I went through my tweets too. I was like, "Am I on bullshit here?"
My man said, "I'm gonna make sure I get on the pod because I gotta get this off. I don't care how sick I am. I don't care what country I'm in. I'm getting this off."
But yes, sir, man. Here in India, living it up, dude. A little bit of wedding shopping, the vibes. But how are you guys doing? I was tapping up
to you since you celebrate.
Thank you, as always. Merry Christmas to y'all.
Yes, happy holidays, brother.
Happy holidays.
All right, so where were you?
Give us your backdrop on the Bills game.
Backdrop, man. It's funny because all the talk around Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen has always been like, oh, Jalen Hurts has this, and this. Well, this year, Josh Allen has a top 5 run game. Josh Allen has a top 5 O-line. So it's interesting to see how things switch. And I know listening to the talk around Josh Allen, I don't seem to hear about how he has a pretty good supporting cast right now. Now, I know he's got Mr. Cookies on his team.
Oh, his receivers are god awful. We were talking about it, horrible.
So that's the other side of it. But
hey, man,
they can run the rock this year. They could run the rock this year, man. So James Cook is having a hell of a year. So I think backdrop. I think it's just going to come down to a run game type of game, man. It's going to be cold, snowy, and this Bills defense can't stop the run, bro. So let's get Saquon going. You saw it last week too. With that run into the end zone. That was angry.
He broke like 5 tackles.
Crazy, and it felt good to see that. See that little bit of explosiveness that not necessarily been missing, but we just haven't been able to see.
This is great podcasting right there. This is what I call an alley-oop from Parth. Before you got on, we were talking about matchups to watch. My matchup to watch is Saquon Barkley versus the Bills front 7. We just talked about how bad this Bills front 7 is. It's topping the run. Like I was just saying before you got on, they've allowed 5 rushes for over 100 yards. 4 of those rushers have gone over 140. You have Hendo, 148 on 14 carries. Sean Tucker, big Sean Tucker fan from back in the day, was my RB2. 106 yards, 19 carries. A-Chain, 174, 22 carries. Henry, week 1, 169 on 18. And B. John, 170 on 19. The best part about this is like you just talked about Parth and that big run for Saquon. And hell, you can even change the sentence from Saquon to Tank Bixby because both of their big runs came on similar plays. From under center alignment, gap scheme runs, outside zone, outside slide toss runs and zone runs have hurt the Bills defense. Over the season, over 57% of their rushing production allowed has come off tackles. So you talk about Saquon Barkley thrashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Just cut on any run play from this year or last year when they run pitch to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
This should be one of those kind of games for Saquon.
I mean, it's where we've dominated this year as well. You know, we've had the issues in the middle of our offensive line this year with, I mean, of course, our only Pro Bowler, which is hilarious. Just goes to show what the Pro Bowl is, man. Just a little aside, I think it was Mitchell Schwartz who wrote about it. Like the fact that so much of this is related to contracts and like it's just the voting is so odd. They need to figure something out about the Pro Bowl, bro, because yeah, it's odd, bro. Anybody who watched the Eagles this year would tell you that Cam Jerkins has been like our worst O-lineman, and
is it still fan votes?
Yes.
That's very weird.
They need to just make it like the NBA. Like you don't hear people talk about 15-time All-Star anymore. That's 2006 talk, buddy. We talk about all NBA teams, all defense teams. I heard somebody mention that they need to just get rid of the Pro Bowl for a
make it another All-Pro spot.
Right. Yeah. I don't necessarily think they should get rid of the Pro Bowl because I think it's fun. It's fun for the fans. Yeah. It's fun for the people. Seeing all those guys in the same place. It's like when you're playing Madden and fantasy drafting, for lack of a better term.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, let's not try to give it the weight that it doesn't deserve.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just like refine the way it's done. Like I think it was Greg. I don't know if it was Greg Cosell or who it was, but like there should be like a panel of voters, like former players, former GMs, former coaches.
I think I saw that as well. That makes logical sense to me. You know, it's just like very much vibes based, and if you have contract talks based on Pro Bowls, it's not fair. You know, it's got to be done better. But you know, to that point, you know, we're able to run the ball outside. So is Lane playing this week? I've kind of been out of the loop.
They've ruled him out.
Right? Okay, good. Because I'd rather just have him and JC kind of healthy going into
JC's playing.
Going into the playoffs. JC's playing.
Yeah. So we could pitch the same question to you that Pierre pitched to me. How do you feel about JC playing? I told Pierre it's a bit different situation than Lane. Like I'm glad that they didn't play Lane. Lane's a bit older. Lane doesn't really need these reps or the experience. It's trying to get him as healthy as possible for the big games. Compared to JC, I mean, we talked about earlier in the year how conditioning was a problem for him and things of that nature. So just wanting to let him get his feet wet. What's your thoughts on the process?
I mean, I think when you put it that way, I think it makes sense. From a caution standpoint, you know, him saying that he's going to need surgery in the offseason as well. Look, if he's feeling good and the PRP's worked and he's ready to play, then you know I'm not gonna say no. But like,
Not gonna lie, I feel pretty good about him. They said my boy couldn't do a push-up. Now he out there attacking guards. I'm like, yeah, man, because you was getting pressed out there, buddy.
I was about to say that makes sense. That makes sense because he really was not able to push off. And I mean, it makes sense if both of your shoulders don't work, bro. Like that's kind of crucial when you're playing D-line.
So question to our resident medical expert on the pod here. What's the difference? What's the difference between a PRP injection and like a cortisone shot for like arthritis or something like that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think PRP is a little bit stronger. Like it's platelet rich something, I think, but it's like it's a different type. It basically is. It's a similar concept, but I think it's just stronger because it's probably. I mean, arthritis is obviously horrible, but like this man's getting into car accidents every day, multiple times a day, right? So like, I think it's just probably something a little bit stronger, but. You know, my dad's over there, so I could ask him a little bit, but I think it just comes down to it just being stronger. And yeah, I mean, you got a little bit of experience in that now, seeing the shots. So I think it's a similar concept, but you know, PRP is just like the next level up is my thought. Because my mom actually got a PRP injection on her knee. She like tore her meniscus a while ago, and then like had to get that to help it out, and then it helped. So I don't know. She didn't end up getting surgery because she got the PRP. So hopefully, Jalen Carter can be like my mom. That's where I'm ended up. But yeah, I think I agree with you, Quo, when you put it that way. Because at first I was like, oh, maybe just save him, but like he needs to get the conditioning needs to be right too, and a lot of the D line has had to play a lot more snaps, right? Like Jordan Davis, brother, like doubled his snaps, and we're not even through the season, dude. Like doubled his snaps, doubled his production.
But
So
the
it's been a lot.
Peloton payoff, baby.
Peloton payoff, man. I forget the lady that he really liked on the Peloton. That was a good article though. But yeah, I think just get him out there, and you have the ability when you're on defensive line, you can rotate, right? That's the main thing. So he's not going to be playing the whole game. You put Lane out there, and you don't really rotate tackles like that. So Fred Johnson hasn't been bad. Go Gators! If you can play him out there and let Lane get right, man, I'm all for it because. Yeah, Lane's the old man. You want to make sure that he's 100% good before he
The
comes
old
back.
dog for the stretch run.
Look at Parth, man, throwing alley-oops, bro. That is a great segue into my matchup to watch. Fred Johnson versus Gregory Rousseau. In Lane Johnson's absent, Fred Johnson has given up 1 sack. He talked a lot about, before he took on the starting role, about how Lane Johnson has a name. It's time for Fred Johnson to make his. I think he's done a pretty good job of, making his name known. We've talked about how bad the Bills' run defense is. Like I said, I don't think it's a stretch to say, but I think we can expect Saquon to continue to have, success like he's had over the past couple of weeks. And that starts up front. And it's not only against the run, but against the pass too. Greg Rousseau, he leads the team in sacks and pressures. He's going to be lined up against them. And me and you, Quell, we alluded to it before Parth got on, but the Bills secondary, they play a very, very aggressive brand of football, and it's limited, a lot of top wideouts. Their pass defense in general, is the very aggressive, bunch. And like I said, Greg Rousseau leads the team in sacks and pressure. So it starts up front. Lane Johnson's going to be back for the playoffs. So for Fred Johnson, bro, all I'm asking, dog, give me one more day. Give me one more game, bro.
I'm not asking for one more year.
No, I'm not asking for one more year, man. Can you give me one more?
All right, before we move on, I gotta ask you because this has crossed my mind hearing you say this. Between the Super Bowl run last year and how he's filled in for this year, has Fred Johnson reached Eagles lore in terms of Big V status yet?
I don't think so.
Close. But Big V played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Big V played in the Super Bowl. But Fred Johnson is definitely the best backup tackle we've had since Big V.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think playing in the Super Bowl, starting the Super Bowl and winning it, that gives you a little something.
I mean, before it was here on the stretch run for the Super Bowl last year, maybe totally I could get something. But you're right, man. Just they got Big V paid. They got
I'm about to say, bro, my dog Big V cashed in.
Lions, right?
Yeah.
Is he's still their starting tackle, isn't he?
Nah, that's why they drafted Penny, right?
Oh,
I believe Taylor Decker is left tackle or was the left tackle. I don't know if he still is. And then they drafted Penny on the right side. So he basically moved to the same role that he was in Philadelphia. He's like, that ain't no problem.
I'm gonna keep cashing these checks.
Just keep the checks coming. 100%. No, yeah. The Super Bowl just gives them the edge. Okay, so for my matchup, our offense versus their defense, I'll go Jalen versus their pass defense because they have a damn good pass defense. I think
damn good.
It's ranked. I had it right here. Number two ranked passing offense, 167.1 yards per game allowed, and obviously we know, also to this, why are people getting mad at AJ for getting his wisdom teeth out? Do y'all know how much that hurts?
People are mad about that.
So I think people are upset that because you can schedule when you get your wisdom teeth out. Now I don't think people understand that if he get infected, then
and then tooth pain is something else, gang. Unbearable.
You can't even think, bro. Like you cannot think because you have such a bad headache. And like imagine like having to go put in a mouth guard. No, thank you. No, thank you. So I mean, stupid to get mad at him for that because I got my wisdom teeth out last year, dude. It was horrible. Never done.
I need to get mine out.
And to give you You've done such a great job of giving us alley oops. Parth, I'll give you an alley oop, my brother, to yours. Not only just Jalen Hurts against the Bills' pass defense, can they continue to use Jalen Hurts as a runner? Jalen Hurts has 30-plus yards in 5 of his last 6 games. It's clearly impacted the Eagles' offense, him being a runner. The Bills allowed 49 yards to wrist up in the air. Shedeur Sanders last week, who we all know is no runner. He does what he has to, but he's no runner. It's a window to be
that. Absolutely, man. So that's what it comes down to, right? With the passing offense, Jalen Hurts is not just a passer, right? Like Jalen Hurts can bring a multitude of approaches to the defense, and so yeah, I just want to see how they're able to put things together because they're obviously trending in the right way. Even some of the passing concepts, so still seeing a lot of hitches out there, but that the route tree map for AJ last week,
chef's kiss. My goodness.
It was beautiful.
Hard to believe. I was telling Pierre about how Kevin Patullo tried to throw himself in there on Hard Knocks with they mentioned him talking to Devonta Smith. He was like, "Yeah, I was excited to call that play for you, buddy." Basically letting the people know I'm still calling the plays, y'all. I'm still calling the plays. But it's hard to believe he's still calling the plays when you watch how that guy got used last week. That guy was here, there, and everywhere. I'm like, this is a more like it for AJ Brown show.
Begging for, bro. So I want to see continued growth there. I'm not expecting them to, blow it up and it's going to look so amazing and like they're going to blow up the Bills defense. But I just want to see signs of positive growth from the passing game because these are 2 playoff teams, right? This is the last playoff team you can play before you get into the playoffs. So you get a W here and you're feeling real good going into the playoffs. And I think momentum is extremely real in sports and this is where you can build it. So I just want to see them have a good passing day. Not crazy, just decent passing day and not even passing day, just a good day on offense. I really just want to see a good day on offense because like we outlined, it's could just be a running the ball game. It's going to be cold, snowy, just succeed on offense.
Stop saying this. Jalen Hurts is my quarterback. Not just in real life, but he's going to lead me to a fantasy Super Bowl. Will Pierre just say, you got one more game, brother?
Brother, there's a reason I told y'all I don't like fantasy because I'm in one league. I didn't make the loser bowl. I made it 1 out. The other league, I'm in a loser bowl. Do you know what my punishment is, bro? If I lose, 75 glizzies in a week.
Oh. Party, my dude, I hate it. Had to be him.
You gonna go with the bread or like just straight?
Do you know what I'm gonna do?
You
want to know what I'm gonna do?
Crazy.
No, it's gonna be disgusting. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I talked to my brother about this, and he's like, "You're stupid. You should just eat 11 glizzies a day for a week." And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do, if I lose, God willing, I don't.
Just don't lose.
3 25 glizzy smoothies, and I'm putting.
You're
down,
sick.
Bro. Chugging.
You're
I'm
sick.
chugging it.
You're a sick individual.
I know, bro. But like, do you
There's
really
something
want
wrong
to eat
with
glizzies?
you.
I'm looking at it from an efficiency perspective. What do you want me to do? You want me to eat glizzies only for every meal for a week?
Oh my gosh.
He had booted.
I don't know what y'all want from me, man. It's gonna be miserable.
Wait, so
I would just rather get it done.
Are you gonna
as soon as
juice?
possible.
Are you gonna juice the hot dogs?
I'm blending them. I'm not gonna juice it because I don't know if the hot dog juice is good, but blend it up. Hot dogs,
I got a juice. Park over there listening to Devonta Smith like
that's a good idea.
He's kind of spitting. He's kind of spitting.
We not
yeah,
the same.
It's miserable, man. It's been a fear, and then I had Jordan Love, so now I picked up. I think who did I pick up? I tried to grab.
Why didn't you call me, man?
Because I was miserable, man. I was on the plane and I was like, oh my god, I'm cooked.
Was Tyler Shuck available?
I think that's who I grabbed. I think that's who I grabbed.
Has been a top 8 quarterback.
I did. He's right there. Chuck. Yeah, dude. I hate fantasy football, man. I hate it.
I got so pissed when the Raiders said they were benching Brock Bowers, but then, like I said earlier, I'm facing someone in the championship who started Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra in the Lions defense, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You
that's
back?
Beautiful.
You back?
Oh, I'm so back. I'm so back.
Back like I never left.
I think I'm all right. I just gotta pray. I gotta get through Devon Achane and gosh, who's this guy's other guy? It's another JSN. Devon Achane and JSN.
Who do they play?
But I got Puka.
Panthers.
I got Puka.
Panthers. Yeah.
And as long as we got Puka Nukem, we laugh.
Mr. CTE himself. Let's go, dude. Carrying on the legacy of CTE receivers in the league. It's beautiful. Antonio Brown sheds a tear every time he sees Puka on a street. That's beautiful.
Jalen Hurts, please carry the way. Travion,
it's pretty damn good protocol. That's right. I saw you had a positive update. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. I know I got a little distracted there because it's been on my mind. It's a point of stress for me. Okay, so now we're going Eagles defense versus their offense. All right.
Yeah. I'll go first here. So for me,
he's like, I'm gonna make sure none of y'all still man. I'm gonna get this out the way.
That's what he's about to do.
He said, I'm gonna go first. You done stole mine the last 2 weeks? Nah.
Not again.
I'm gonna go Jahad Campbell versus James Cook. And I did a lot of research into this. This year, the Eagles, they've allowed eye-popping numbers to opposing running backs. Like, we know about the 255 yards versus the Bears, but Kyron Williams, Cam Scatterboo, Marion Hampton a couple weeks ago, Berkey Irvin through the air, he had 5 catches, 102 yards. Jameer Gibbs through the air, 5 catches, 107 yards. Like, they've had their fair share of struggles against running backs. And James Cook,
how many of those plays were like really fluky? Like the Gibbs
you're right.
One or
you're right.
The Bucky one.
You're right. It still happened though.
I guess.
Though they're still on the field reps.
I've been practicing. Yeah, can you tell? Shavin say it all the time. I've been trying to add it to the flow. I guess.
Well, yeah, like I said, they've had their fair share of struggles against running backs this season, and we talked about it, but N'Kobe's going to miss this game with a hamstring, and like me and you talked about, Q, like the physicality that he brings, it's unmatched. Like, Jahad, he's a damn good linebacker, but he doesn't bring the same level of physicality that N'Kobe does, right? And so, Vic Fangio, when he was speaking this week, he talked about Jahad and how he kind of filled in admirably for N'Kobe when he had to come in, and this week, it's a big game. Like you said, Parth, the weather's going to be impactful. James Cook, leading the league in rushing, efficiency stats, he's at near the top of the league in all of those among all running backs. So the onus is going to be on Jahad, I think, in this one, to slow him down, bring the physicality.
Wait,
love a good onus drop.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
disregard me. Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, okay. I'll just go Nolan Smith and Jalen Phillips versus Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown, because like we talked about, their tackles this year are extremely strong. They've had a good year. O-line for the Bills has been a top unit in the league, and we've seen the impact that our defensive line has had in the last couple of weeks. This is going to be a really good test. Are you going to be able to get the same push on playoff caliber tackles, right? Because the last couple of games, you've been able to feast on some of the lower tier tackles in the league. This is a test, and I just want to see them get pressure on Josh, because we know Josh is hard to bring down. So get back there, wrap up, and I want to see impact from our edge players. I feel like Nolan has been right there on sacks. He's got like the highest pressure rate on the team right now, and he hasn't gotten a sack since he got back. So I'd love to see Nolan just get one on Josh Allen.
Got one?
No, bro, not since he's gotten back. Yeah.
I think he did get one.
I think he got one. Just one.
I thought the stat I saw was that he had the highest pressure rate and no sacks yet.
No, since he got back. One last. He got one last week, I think, where he like bulldozed the right tackle.
Let me look it up. It'll be on ESPN. Okay.
Live pocket.
Okay. No. Okay. So he does have some sacks. Okay. So it's on old stat, but regardless, you still want to just get Nolan and Jalen rolling going into the playoffs. And like we talked about, this is the best competition you're going to play until the playoffs. So you got to capitalize on the opportunities that you get.
Don't tell Dan Quinn that all those guys in Commando Land, they got to face us in 2 weeks. They got to see us. Oh, brother, you gonna play Tanner McKee, buddy?
Yeah, and Greg Cosell was mad about it, and I'm like, I don't think that's fair. You can't be mad about them playing to not lose against the Cowboys and then blowing that lead, and then get mad at them for
Yeah.
wanting to put the nail in the coffin. I will take the team being aggressive over being, soft about it every single time. I'm sorry. What you got, Quell?
This is an interesting one, a difficult one to say the least. But I'm going to go with the Eagles wide receivers and A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
Wait, this is Eagles defense.
Yeah, wait. It's our
Eagles
defense. It's
okay,
defense.
Eagles defense. I do. That's why I said wait earlier. I'm gonna go. I knew I did this. I'm gonna go with the Eagles defensive line against the Bills offensive line. Man, stoppable force, movable object, or unstoppable force versus immovable object. This Bills offensive line has been phenomenal, and it's hilarious because there are no superstars here. Just a bunch of guys playing good football. And Deion Dawkins. I don't know if you guys want to classify him as a superstar yet or not. I'm borderline.
5 straight Pro Bowls.
Stars.
Borderline.
Star? Super? She's 5?
Yeah, star.
Well, we did just talk about
super.
I'll say
Superstar
star. We did
is,
just talk about Pro Bowls, Pierre.
Yeah. See, look. He doing it. 5 straight Pro Bowls. Give me a break. But Deion Dawkins, dude. You watch him on tape, and he's a lot of the reason why this Bills offense is able to have success on a lot of the things that they do. This Eagles pass rush, though, since the trade deadline, my goodness, man. My goodness. They've ramped it up. They have ramped it up. And, I mean, this injury for Josh Allen, I mean, they've said he's progressed more and more during the week. We'll see exactly. The goal is to turn them into a drop back passing offense, man. That has to be the goal. Because, Pierre, we talked about the receivers and how basically the Eagles they do a really good job. But when you throw the ball, they will tackle you. They don't miss tackles. They don't let you get a whole lot of yards after catch. They will tackle you. And this Bills team gets a lot of their production from after the catch, specifically Khalil Shakir. Yeah, Khalil Shakir. So if the Bills' offensive line can keep them upright, I think Josh should be okay. They might be able to do a little bit of everything. Hell, not even just the pass rush, being able to run the ball, man. That's the game starts in the trenches this week, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. You want everybody wants it to be a star quarterback matchup, Jalen versus Josh, but it starts in the trenches every time. But I know Pierre's got to get out of here, so
we got game picks.
Yeah, thank you. All right. We got time for it. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I'll go first. Then I'm a Jet. This has been a really difficult game to project all week. Bills defense, pass defense is extremely good. The run defense is horrible. The Eagles offense is kind of surging, specifically Saquon Barkley. Defense playing at a high level. But it's very difficult. This feels like it's going to be a weird game. It feels like it's going to be a very weird game. You talked about it. Part the weather's expected to be a factor. Y'all gonna be mad at me. This feels like a loss. I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels like a loss.
Booted.
It does, man. It does. In my head, it feels like a loss. I don't want it to be. I'm an Eagles fan. Of course, I don't want it to be, but it feels like a loss.
So what's the score?
I'm gonna go Bills 27, Eagles 24.
All right, go pick up your dog at church.
I got the vibes on, man. I don't want a loss. I don't. It feels like one.
I, on the other hand, will let history lead me to my answer. This is the 16th all-time meeting between these two teams. The Eagles lead 9-6. The Eagles have won the last 3 meetings, including 5 of the last 6 since 2000. Josh Allen and Sean McDermott have never beaten the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the only team in football that they have never beaten. Go Birds.
That's why they're so butthurt about the tush push. They're like, oh my God, it's so
Even though they
unsafe, but we're
use
going to
it,
run it the
even though
most in
they
the
use
league.
it,
We're going to run
they
it the
use
most
it.
in the league.
They use it
So
just as
stupid,
much
dude.
as we do.
Corny.
It's-
They used it. I'm pretty sure they used it more this year, or they've been more successful on it this year. So
This
get the hell
Bills
out of my
defense,
face.
they're coming off a good game against the Browns and throw the rest up. Allowing 20 points, but prior to that, they allowed 31 plus points in back-to-back games. Give me the Birds, man. The Birds are trending in the right direction. I don't think it'll be pretty. I don't think they're going to put up 30 points at all. But I don't think the Bills will either. Not with a unsure about unhealthy Josh Allen. I'm going to go Birds. 17. Bills 13.
All right. For me, I will also go vibe based as Pierre did, but just to show y'all, man. 27-24 Eagles. Because I actually that was actually my score because I just think our defense is better than the Bills' defense, and I think that our run game has the potential to be as good as theirs. And so, if you have those two factors there, I think our run game can give us a boost, especially if our defense has played the way that they've played in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, I'm not expecting shutouts like we saw against the Raiders, but you know, you keep an NFL team down to 75 yards, you're pretty damn good. So I think this defense is going to show us something. They're going to be out there to play because there's just been a lot of talk about this rushing attack, this quarterback, and I think the defense is going to have a bone to pick about that. And I think the offense is just going to run the hell out of the ball this week. And I think it's going to be fun to watch, man. I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m. here and be tapped in.
That's real.
They better give me a W. I'll put it that way. They better give me one if my ass is waking up that
I
way.
call you.
Damn
like,
right,
get up, brother.
man.
It's game time.
It's game time. So,
But
give me
27-24. Yeah. But I think this is a good spot to end it. Thank you to all 45 of you who tapped in. We're gonna be back next week to review the game. We're gonna get back to our 2 pods a week schedule. But if you're listening after the stream on whichever podcast streaming platform you're listening on, be sure to leave us a like and a review, rate us 5 stars, and follow us on all social media at the Philly Blitz _ Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are going to resume posting reels and recaps of the pod fairly soon, so stay on the lookout for that. But otherwise, I think this has been a good episode. Thank you for tuning in. Go Birds.
It was a good episode before you brought your dog in here stinking up the place.
Hey, man, somebody got to be the villain here, bro.
He doesn't have a dog. He needs to get a dog because he's scared. So he doesn't have a dog yet. Maybe once he gets a dog,
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about getting one, honestly.
Oh, yes. Please, Paco,
you got to get you a thumper.
Protect me.
You got to get you a thumper. Thumper is not very good at protecting me, though. Like anytime someone comes to the door, he just grabs a stuffed animal and goes to the door. And I'm like, nice, dude. You're really, really protecting me. But hey, he's cute. So what can you do? Anyways, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.